What's good, y'all? I've got some sick changes for all three of the Galarian legendary birds. They all share their original typing now instead of flying. Um, and you can check out the other videos after you're done with this one, if they're up by the time you're watching this. If not, they'll be coming out in the next day or two. But as for Articuno, yeah, it's Ice Psychic now. I've got tons of cool new abilities and synergies and tons of move changes that synergize with their abilities and all that stuff that I'll get into in just a second. Every single move in this game, or at least the vast majority of moves, are heavily reworked and recategorized. So I recommend when you're done with the video, you check out the Google Sheet link down below. Don't click off yet because it'll mess up the watch time. But if you check it out now, when you're done with the video, you can open the Google Sheet and kind of just browse through the categories of all the main moves in the game, and it'll kind of give you a better idea of how the game plays, because all the moves are organized, so it's easier to understand. Yeah, so that's super awesome, and I really do love the approach I took with all three of them. Also, I recommend when you're done. Actually, you don't have to click off the video to do this. You can pause the video and read the description. I've got bullet points explaining the philosophy behind the ROM hack and the way it's balanced, so you can give that all a read. Uh, yeah, I appreciate you if you made it to this point in the video already. I know a lot of people like to click off after like the first 30 seconds, so even if you made it this far, I do appreciate it. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps with the algorithm, helps other people see my work and support my efforts. And yeah, with all that being said, Galarian Articuno, so it's got 3 great ability slots that it can switch between at any point in the game, right? So freely, depending on the boss fight, you can change between Ruthless, which is an offensive option, Levitate, which is great utility, and then obviously Energy Shield gives some incredible bulk. So if you look at so because Ruthless might seem like kind of a weird option, but it fits well enough to me. If you read the decks, it talks about like it's able to immobilize opponents as if they had been frozen solid. It can tear. Its feather-like blades are composed of psychic energy that can shear through thick iron sheets as if they were paper. So I think that kind of vibe fits Ruthless. Obviously, something like Sniper actually fits better, but Ruthless is renamed to fit, 20, 30 Pokemon. I don't know how many actually, probably not that many, but a good amount of Pokemon. I believe probably about 20, I think is my list of Ruthless guys. And most of them fit the concept of Ruthless better than Sniper. But this is one of the cases where Sniper would actually fit better. But Ruthless fits fine. And it's really cool for their moves. They have tons of awesome guaranteed crit rate moves. The whole Blades thing is why they have stuff like Mirror Cutter. That's a 2-hit move, 135 power overall with the Ruthless boost, 90 without. You've got your Frost Breath and your Freezing Glare. So Freezing Glare, as you can read, not only is that the same power as Frost Breath, they're both 135 power with Ruthless. Not only that, but also Freezing Glare also drops attack, special attack, and speed. So similar to how Glare itself now paralyzes on top of dropping attack and special attack, like you're scaring them, paralyzing them with fear. Freezing Glare is like kind of similar in that it drops attack and defenses and deals a lot of damage at the same time. So Freezing Glare also synergizes very well with Energy Shield is my point, because it drops attack and speed and all that stuff, and you can use heal moves like Roost and kind of go from there. And in general, Energy Shield is just great because a lot of the time you're not going to need that damage boost, right? 125 special attack is already strong. You've got Move Relearner giving you access to all types of coverage moves that you can teach whenever you need them at any given moment. So it's pretty easy to get kills without Ruthless, so a lot of the time you're going to want that utility that comes from Energy Shield, allowing you to switch in on the field easier and just take hits better. So because Psychic Ice, obviously it's not traditionally considered a very good defensive typing, although 90, 85, 125 bulk is very solid, very good on the special side, and then with Energy Shield you can take even strong physical hits with ease. And then Levitate is just great. I mean, you're neutral to ground and you're an ice type, so being immune to ground means you can take 0 damage and then, hit them back with a super effective move, or just, if it's a coverage ground move, it's just nice to get a free switch and not take any damage. That's the beauty of having that ability to change your abilities whenever you want to, is you can just teach Levitate. Not teach, but, equip Levitate whenever it's needed. Otherwise, you'll be running Energy Shield or Ruthless when you need the extra damage boost. I would say Energy Shield would be the ability you use most of the time, and then you have Ruthless for the extra oomph, and then Levitate for that immunity. But yeah, I mean, 135 power Frost Breath and Freezing Glare is great at level 50. The beautiful thing about those two moves is they can also be spammed more with a Choice Scarf. Meanwhile, you cannot do that with the stronger options in Absolute Zero and Subspace Tear. So those two moves, essentially, they are Wicked Blow variants, so they cannot be used twice in a row, but they are incredibly powerful. So if you're running Choice Scarf Absolute Zero, Choice Scarf Subspace Tear, you have to switch out after you get one kill. You can't keep clicking it over and over again. You have to switch out and switch back in if you want to click it again. Otherwise, you'll struggle. So that's definitely a balancing factor. Radiant Edge and Aeroblast are also really cool coverage moves. So he has, like I said, tons of cool guaranteed crit coverage moves. He's got Heat Wave even, which might seem a bit weird because they're an Ice type, but I think it's fine. You know, they're like an Ice type in spirit. You know, they're not like really like an Ice type, which is why they're not Ice type in vanilla. I just think it's really cool for them to be their original typing. I think it's a lot more interesting and unique and fun, and I'm sure tons of people will agree with me, even if it doesn't make that much sense if you really think about it. I think it's cool. Mesmerize is an awesome guaranteed sleep move, 100% accurate, very reliable, consistent. This thing is fast, but it's not as fast as you might think. 110 speed when you're only getting a plus speed nature 20% of the time, and you're only getting 20 speed IVs, is only hitting 308 speed. So you're only barely outspeeding base 90. So your speed is much lower than you, unless you get lucky with the plus speed. If you get lucky with the plus speed, then you're going even crazier. But even then, you're only hitting like 105 probably, or I don't know, something like that, because of the IVs as well. So regardless, you're going to be slower than you might think. But of course, Scarf helps patch that up. Agility with Energy Shield helps patch that up. Ice Spinner even giving you +1 speed means that you can kill something with Ice Spinner if it's in range for it. You know, you get something in range with another Pokemon, you switch it and get that Ice Spinner kill, which is better than Agility because number one, +1 speed is outspeeding everything anyway, and number two, you're killing. So you don't take damage. Meanwhile, Agility requires you to take the hit or take a, give the AI a free turn. Before you get access to Mesmerize, you've also got a good ult Hypnosis, which won't miss with Wide Lens, so that's a good option if you need sleep before you get access to Mesmerize at the end of the game. And then you've got Esper Wing, which is a blatantly broken option on them, but it fits way too fucking well. There's no way. I mean, their whole thing is like tearing at you with blades, right? And they're a psychic type bird that has like blade wings. And if you read the dex or the description for Esper Wing, it's like tearing, with psychic blades or whatever. So, like an aura enriched wing is like getting slashed. So, there's no way I don't give them Esper Wing. Espathra I was considering, but number one, they don't fly, so it feels less needed in terms of flavor. And then also, Espathra has Psychic Surge, which makes them immune to priority as well. So then you have that, which kind of becomes kind of OP a little bit. At least this guy isn't immune to priority. However, number one, you could set up a Psychic Terrain if you really needed to. But number two, what's crazy is you have Bleak Windstorm. So Bleak Windstorm, if you read the description for that move, it talks about like cold wind. So stuff like Articuno and also Galarian Articuno can use that. And all of those moves are exclusively distributed. That essentially gives you priority, and it's a flinch, and it's really strong. I probably will have to nerf them at some point, but they're very low distribution, so I'm okay with them because they're late game moves. You only get access to Esper Wing and Bleak Windstorm at the very end of the game, the last 12 or so boss fights. So say you get access to this guy at level 45, right? That's when he becomes legal, hypothetically speaking. You'll have tons and tons of cooler options before you get access to the cheesier stuff at the end. And overall, you got tons of cool coverage. Man, I really do love the type combo here too, offensively, and even like defensively, it's not the worst thing. I mean, I think it only resists itself, if I remember correctly. Ice Psychic only resists Ice and Psychic, so that's kind of funny. But of course, that Energy Shield and the Levitate helps give you more defensive utility. And yeah, having the ability to even like stuff like Teleport or U-Turn with Energy Shield is great utility. Even like Trick Room, Eject Button, Energy Shield stuff could be good. All types of fun, creative ways you can take advantage of your diverse move pool here with that move relearner. Because you're preparing for, 50 different boss fights, you can really take advantage of all different sorts of tools at any given moment. Meteor Beam is also incredibly strong. That's Ruthless boosted. That's another guaranteed crit move. So not only do you have like the pseudo, you got your pseudo stab and Aeroblast, you've got your pseudo stab and Radiant Edge, which I think is cool because their whole thing is like with light from their eyes or beams from their eyes. I think giving them Radiant Edge is kind of a cool little, and also like they're slashing with blades made from light, right? Like shearing through iron sheets, like with its blades. So that's why I give them Mirror Cutter and Radiant Edge, which are both like special slashing moves. And they both happen to be Ruthless boosted, so that's super cool. And overall, I just think I just love the changes here. They're so fitting, so cool, so fun. Really, really cool design. I love all three of the Galabirds. Let me know in the comment down below what your favorite one is if you made it to this point in the video. I do appreciate it. And I think I'm just going to end it off here, to be honest. Future Sight's also very strong with Ruthless. You can Future Sight into Switch Move or Roost or whatever and kind of get a crazy kill that way. Or even just like Ruthless Future Sight, Eject Button is super, super strong. And yeah, thank you for listening. Let me know if you made it to the end of the video. I do appreciate it if you did. And I'll be back for more coming up. Peace, y'all.